Hi children, how are you? So nice to see you once again. And do you know who this is? With a red hat, it's a cat. It's Cat in the Hat. And these books were written by a very famous author, Dr. known as Dr. Zeus. So this book today that I'm reading for you is recommended by him and it's one of his series. The name of the book is The Best Nest. And you know why I'm doing this book with you? Because you are learning about the bird Bajigar. And look, doesn't she look like a Bajigar? A different color one though. And you know what? Do you know where birds actually live? Oh, yes. They live in a nest on a treetop. That's right, lovely. So let's start our story The Best Nest. And you know what this is? This is Mr. Bird and this is Mrs. Lovely Bird in her pink hat and he's wearing his blue hat. So, Mr. Bird was a happy bird. He was so happy that he had to sing. And he used to sing his favorite song. And his favorite song was, I love my house, I love my nest. In the whole wide world, my nest is the best. So he used to sing this regularly. But one day, Mrs. Bird was a little upset with him and said, well, if not the best, it's not the best. We can do something better. So she told him to find a better nest where they could lay some eggs. So he said, all right. He was a little upset and Mrs. Bird was a little angry. So he said, all right, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to find a nice nest for both of us. So let's look for a new place. So, Mr. Bird and Mrs. Bird began to fly high up in the sky. They would go chirp, 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 chirp. We're looking for a house. Is there anything free? And Mrs. Bird saw this lovely hole in the tree bark. So she said, let's go there and see. And as they went in, oops, whoops, 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 somebody came out and he said, oh, this is my house. Sorry, you can't move in here. This is busy. So she said, oh no, we're sorry. And they flew on further. And as they flew further, they saw, what is that? That's right, it's a shoe. They saw a shoe on a bench. They thought to themselves, maybe nobody lives here and they could live in it. So they looked inside, there was nobody in it. So they decided, whoa, we found a new house. And as they went in, a little comfortable, oh no, came a big foot came a big foot to go inside the shoe. And they said, oh no, this house belongs to a foot. And they flew away, still looking for a house. And they flew far, far beyond till they saw a beautiful post box. And Mr. Bird said, well, Mrs. Bird, this is totally empty. Look, no one stays here. And Mrs. Bird looked at the flag, had a big smile on her face, and said, I always wanted a house with a flag. This seems marvelous. I think I'm going to stay here. And then they both decided to go in and live in that lovely mailbox. And as they made themselves comfortable, whoa, oh no, oh, the mailman came with letters and he pushed the letters right inside the mailbox, squeezing the two birds out, the two budgigars. Oh no! Fly, Mrs. Bird, fly, said Mr. Bird. That's not the right place. I made a mistake. Mrs. Bird was really angry and says, oh, Mr. Bird, you make so many mistakes. That's not acceptable. And then they flew on further. And as they flew on further, they found a beautiful church which was totally empty. And just as they flew inside, they saw a nice big bell. And looking at that, Mrs. Bird got really excited and she said, "Wow, this looks like our new house. It's nice and big." Mr. Bird right then thought, "Well, yes, it is big, but isn't it too big?" So Mrs. Bird said, "Oh no, I love big houses. This is going to be the best place for me to stay." And they said, "All right, time to get some hay, some thread, some laces to make our lovely house, some twigs." So they quickly went to the barn and pulled out 2 twigs, and they quickly flew back to put the twigs there. Then they saw a broomstick with some nice broom straws. So both Mr. and Mrs. Bird pulled it out and said, "All right, we are ready." And then they saw some strings coming out from someone's sweater, and they both said, "Pull! 1, 2, 3, pull!" And the boy was like, "Oh no, what's happening? My sweater's getting small." And then they saw a man on a nice swing, and they said, "That's some lovely string that I can pull," said Mrs. Bird. She pulled some more, and Mr. Bird said, "Oh, I've got some mattress stuffing. Lovely." And they took all that, and they said, "Let's now build our nest." And on the way, they saw a horse. They said, "Let's pull some horsehair." So they pulled the hair from the tail, and the horse said, "Neigh, neigh." And look what? They even pulled some man hair. Oh my God, that's funny. And then they said, "Let's go now. And if we find something more, we can collect it on the way." And they both flew together back to where they wanted to make their nest, right at the church. And they started to build their lovely nest, nice and cozy. And right then, Mrs. Bird said, "This nest is really the best. I love it, and I want to stay in it forever." And just then, Mr. Bird flew to get some food, and he went on the top of the church, and he said, "I love our new house. I love our nest. In the whole wide world, my nest is the best. Chirp, 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 chirp." While he was busy singing, he didn't see Mr. Parker walking towards the church. And as Mr. Parker walked towards the church, look what he did. He pulled the big long rope of the bell and went ding, dong, ding. But not just once, 3 times. So come on, let's do it together. Ding, dong, ding. Ding, dong, ding. Ding, dong, ding. And as it rang, bong, 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 Mrs. Bird was so scared because the sound was so loud. It was just like a big bang. And she quickly flew out. And as she flew out, the bell continued to ring. And Mr. Bird said, "Oh no, I have to help my Mrs. Bird. I have to help her. Run." And as he went inside, he saw his house, the nest totally broken in complete shatters. And he said, "Oh no, where is Mrs. Bird? Where is she?" Mrs. Bird was nowhere to be found. So he looked onto the chimney, and she was just not there. Then he flew on further. He went to the barn and asked the horse, "Mr. Neigh, Neigh, have you seen my little lovely wife?" And they both looked surprised, and they said, "Oh no, no." And then he flew further, and he saw a cat. What does a cat do? Meow. and next to the cat, he saw some feathers. Was Mrs. Bird eaten by the cat? Oh no! He saw that and he began to cry. He was so really sad. And as he flew out crying, it started to rain. There was thunder, there was heavy rain, there were grey skies, and nothing could be seen. And as it was raining so heavily, crash! He banged into something. What could that be? So, as he tried to rub his eyes to see, it was his old house, and he just wanted to save himself from the rain, and he went into his old nest. As he went into the old nest, ta-ra! He saw Mrs. Bird sitting there, nice, cozy, and warm, and she was sitting and she was singing. I love my house, I love my nest, in the whole wide world, my nest is the best. And Mr. Bird was so surprised to see her, and he said, Whoa, you're here? Oh, and I thought you hated the old nest, said Mr. Bird. And Mrs. Bird said, Oh no, that's not true. I love my old house. I love my nest. And just look what we have. It's a brand new egg. And then in some due course in time, the little egg hatched into a small little chick, and they all sang together. What did they sing? Come on everyone, what did they sing? Let's sing it together. I love my house, I love my nest. In the whole wide world, my nest is the best. Lovely. See you later, my lovely children, with a new story of another one of your favorite and new things that you're going to learn. Take care. Bye.